I write at home, and I try to do my best work there. Sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with other home-related things. I have 2 kids, and there are always a million things that need to get done, and sometimes it can be easy to sort of fall into that mode and not work mode. The morning is definitely the best time for me. I love it when the house is kind of empty and I'm just there on my own. Day-to-day details are never really a help in terms of inspiration. Like, it's just not great to be thinking about getting new pajamas for my son when I'm trying to imagine another world and the people in it. The actual physical act of writing seems to generate ideas. So yes, sometimes I do feel like I'm rushing to keep up, but that's a good feeling because I want the sense that the ideas are coming thick and fast. What I really most want is the feeling that I'm not coming up with the ideas. I like the sense that it's happening unconsciously because the ideas that I can think of consciously are just not that interesting generally. I'm looking for the stuff I couldn't have thought of. I love Greek tragedy. Shakespeare, no one has managed to come close to his agility, both on the level of the line and the scope of, miraculous, far-reaching works, and not just 1 or 2 of them, but many, many of them. So those are kind of old touchstones. More recently, I'm a huge fan of Don DeLillo, Joyce Carol Oates. I have a new hero. I'm reading Wolf Hall, which is just a masterpiece. I'm in awe of Hilary Mantel. I feel like she may be my new favorite living writer. Edith Wharton is another huge touchstone for me. Again, just on the level of the line and then the whole scope of her books. There's so much intelligence and reach and thoughtfulness, and she also really reveals the age in which she lived in a very compelling way. I started writing that book not really knowing that I was going to write a book, and I thought that I was just sort of entertaining myself writing some short stories. So the 3 that I wrote thinking that way were very different from one another, as short stories generally are. You're in a different world each time, you have a different technical approach. So once I realized that it was a book, I really already knew that there would be a different approach in each chapter, because I hadn't realized they were chapters when I was writing them. So in a way I got lucky, because I'm not sure, and this is exactly what I mean about my unconscious doing a better job than my conscious. I'm not sure I could have sat down and come up with that, or that I would have, but I could see that it was fun once I was already doing it, and I just thought, I'm gonna stick with that. American Adventurers. Something like that. I'm trying to find new ways to do things if I can. I think the number one thing is read, and read at the level that you want to write at. So that's reading for me is really like nourishment. If I'm reading well, I feel healthy and ready to do my best work. I think another thing is make writing a habit. I think writing is a bit like exercise. I'm going to talk about this tonight. If you never exercise, exercising seems like a very strange thing to do. But if you're used to exercising and it's part of your normal routine, it seems strange not to do it. That's the point you want to get to with writing. The last thing I would say is you can't demand of yourself that you write regularly and also demand that you always write well. You can't have all that. So for me, the trick has always been to allow myself to write badly, because anything can be fixed. But if you've got nothing, you can't fix it. I am working on a new novel. It has been a very difficult one for me. I don't really know why, because in some ways it's much more conventional than anything I've done recently. Maybe I just am not good at writing conventional novels, it now turns out. It takes place outside my lifetime. It involves women who built and repaired ships at the Brooklyn Navy Yard during World War II. It has all the potential to be an interesting story. I hope I can pull it off. The soonest it would come out is about 2 years from now. That's the best case scenario. In other words, really 6 years after Goon Squad. Way too long a gap. But what can you do? Sometimes it's just impossible to rush this stuff.